Damn, that was a good album. And I'm not talking about any album, of course. I'm talking about Damn by Kendrick Lamar, which is one of the most creative ideas I've seen in rap. And this album really shows the difference between a rapper and an artist. Because a rapper can't make something like this. But if you like this content, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, make sure to check out my Twitch where I stream. I'm sorry for the lack of uploads. I've been focusing on school because obviously school started and all that stuff. But I'm gonna try to be more consistent, and I'm not gonna waste any time. Let's get straight into it. Damn by Kendrick Lamar starts with a question that will determine this whole album. Is it wickedness or is it weakness? Now, this question is very important to the story of Damn. But basically, it starts with Kung Fu Kenny, which is basically Kendrick Lamar, getting shot by a blind lady for helping her get across the street. And then the three tracks after that, DNA, Ya, and Element, they talk about a very wicked Kenny, who's feeling like no one is praying for him and is feeling very lost. Now, after those three songs, Kenny begins to realize his wickedness on the song Feel. And now, every song after Feel is like a feeling, like loyalty, pride, humble, lust, love, XXX, and fear. All of these things are things that Kenny has felt. Pride, love, and loyalty, Kenny is very, very weak, while humble, lust, and XXX, he is very wicked, which shows the duality of the question earlier. Now, the last feeling that I didn't put in those categories is fear, because fear is the last feeling on this album, where the song ends with a voicemail of Kenny's brother telling him to turn to God. Now, this actually strikes fear in Kenny's heart, which changes him for the better. And the next song is God, where he talks about how he is better while believing in Christ and stopping his wickedness and choosing weakness, which is the right choice. And finally, and debatably the best song, Duckworth. Kenny goes through a story of his dad getting robbed at a KFC he worked at, and he chose weakness by giving the person who was robbing it chicken and biscuits. Now, the person who robbed that KFC is the owner of TDE, which is Kendrick's label. So, if his dad would have acted wicked and didn't hand over the food, then he would have died. And the robber, which is Kendrick's boss, would have went to jail, which means that Kendrick wouldn't have a father, or he wouldn't have the career now. A good ending, where he chooses weakness, because weakness saves lives. But, if you play Damn backwards, while instead of Blood being first, which is the first song, Duckworth is first. Now let me tell you the story of Damn again, but backwards. So starting with Duckworth, you will hear the story of the chicken situation. And like all of us said before, obviously Kendrick knows about this situation, and then we go to God, where he believes in God from the beginning. But then, again, he starts to go through all these weakness and wickedness emotions again. Now, with the last song being Feel, because again, this is put in reverse, so technically this would be the last song where it's talking about a feeling, and he feels like no one is praying for him, so he goes back to wickedness to fight back. Now, the voicemail that his cousin left him, it doesn't make Kendrick weak anymore. He doesn't care because he's too wicked now. Which we get to Blood, which is the last song when played backwards. And if you remember,
you've lost your life.